Do you ever feel like you've accidentally joined the zombie apocalypse? You're going through life, you're answering emails, you're going to work, you're doing your daily routine, but you just kind of feel a little bit lifeless? There's a reason you feel half alive, and it might not be what you think. We're going to talk about it in this video and see if we can get you out of zombie land. So usually how it starts, this zombie infection, is that you're busy moving. You're racing from one commitment to the next in your life. You're trying to keep up. You're trying to do everything you're supposed to do, keep everybody happy. But this is usually how the infection spreads, through busyness. Because when we start to just live for busyness, just live for getting the things done that we're supposed to get done, that's kind of when this infection starts. That's when zombie mode starts to take hold. We're filling every moment in our lives so that we don't have to have any quiet ones, so that we don't have to feel any of the sensations that might be saying, hello, this isn't really the kind of life I wanted. And at first, this can look healthy. I mean, you're productive, you're doing things, you're achieving things, you're dependable, you're the one that comes through for everybody else. But underneath, something small starts to decay. The part of you maybe that used to ask, why are we doing this? That's the early symptoms of this contagion. You stop wondering if what you're doing really matters. You just keep doing it. You just stay busy. And you kind of lose track of what gives your life life. What makes you excited? What makes it worth living? And instead, you start measuring yourself by how much you're getting done. That's the first sign. Sign number 2 that you've been infected with the zombie contagion is that you start to shuffle through your life. You know that look, the glazed eyes, the slow steps, the half-second delay in responding when someone asks you how you are. Oh, I'm fine. You tell them you're fine because technically you are. And nobody wants to hear about problems anyway, right? Your body's showing up, you're doing the thing, your calendar's full, but inside maybe you've gone grayscale. So in a sense, you've gone on autopilot, and that's sign 2 of this. You're just shuffling through life. You're on autopilot. You're just doing things without really being attached to any of them. You stop feeling much of anything. And after a while, that way of being starts to feel normal. That's what's dangerous. In a way, it can be comforting because it feels safer. You're not challenging yourself to do anything different. You're not upending your life or trying to make something happen that would take you through a transition. You're just staying in the same place. And even if it doesn't excite you or it doesn't light you up, it's safe. You know what to expect. It's familiar. So you just stop feeling much of anything and you start going through the motions. And maybe you call it burnout or just getting older, or you think that's just kind of how life goes. But underneath it, something deeper in you is starting to shut down. The shuffle happens when you've been kind of half alive for a while, for so long that it starts to feel like this is the way things should be. You're still moving, but no longer toward anything that really feels like it matters anymore. And the last stage of this zombie contagion is called the rot. If the shuffle goes on long enough, then the rot begins to set in. This is a slow decomposition of your desire. You stop wanting things. You stop hoping for more. You stop looking forward to things. You stop believing that change is even possible, because that would require energy, and you've spent all your energy pretending that everything is fine. So in the final stage of the contagion, this is what happens. You surrender. You surrender to the rot, to this way of existing. You make peace with the emptiness, and you learn to call it stability. This is stability. So these symptoms might all look normal to the outside world. It might look even healthy to other people around you. Maybe you're telling yourself you've found balance. You have the same job, the same habits, the same routine, the same people in your life. All of it's just going along the same. And at least it's predictable, right? No big surprises. But underneath, the air's gone stale that you're breathing. The light is fading, and you can feel your own story starting to dwindle kind of into this nothingness. And maybe no one else notices because you're doing such a good job of pretending that everything's fine. But somewhere inside of you, you know, that's why you're watching this video. You can feel it. You can feel that this stillness is spreading, and there's this rot settling inside you. And it's not really about dying. It's about forgetting what being alive was really like. here's why this contagion is so dangerous. The thing about feeling half alive, or even a quarter alive, is that it feels safer than challenging yourself to go back to feeling fully alive. If you stop wanting anything, you don't have to risk anything. You can't fail if you don't care. So if you just go along, that's fine, I don't care, I'm just doing the thing, then you don't have to risk failure by trying something else. And you can't lose what you've already given up on. So the stakes in your life go down. So all of this can feel very safe, very familiar, and really like everything's okay. And that's why it's so dangerous. It doesn't destroy you all at once, but it actually rewards you for feeling numb. And it makes this stillness and this rot feel like peace. But the longer you stay in it, the more that your real life starts to rot under the surface. And you start to lose yourself. And you may not even notice that it's happening. You stop chasing things that light you up because maybe they might not work out, or they might upset your current life too much. You stop imagining possibilities because it's easier just to stay where you are. And in the end, what staying in this so-called safe place costs you a lot more maybe than what you think. So you may be missing the laughter that comes from surprises in your life. You may be missing the deep satisfaction that comes from actually doing something that lights you up. You might miss the people who would have found you only if you were brave enough to be visible again. Zombie life looks calm on the surface, but it's not peace. Don't be fooled. It is paralysis. It is the illusion of safety built on the quiet terror of wasting your one short life. Unfortunately, the longer you stay here, and the reason I'm doing this video and I want to help people with this is because the longer you stay in this zombie mode, the more your real story fades. And there's still that story in there. There's more of the real you that wants to unfold. There's more to your life that wants to come into being. It just needs you to wake up long enough to listen and to be brave enough to take a few small steps toward that part of yourself once again. Here's the good news in this Halloween story. Even in the middle of all this numbness and this shuffle and this rot, something in you is still alive. It's trying to get your attention, maybe in quiet, inconvenient ways that you're trying to brush off. But you might catch a glimpse of it when you're feeling restless for no reason, or when a song hits you harder than it should, or when you find yourself jealous of someone else who seems to be living their full life. And if that happens, that's not really envy, it's recognition. It's the part of you that remembers what aliveness feels like and that's trying to claw its way back from the grave. So you can ignore it for a while and you can drown it out in work and in screens and in endless to-do lists. But it's patient. It will keep clawing at the coffin lid until you finally notice. You were never meant to just survive your own life. You were meant to live it fully. So that's usually when the questions start. How do you come back to life after you've sort of gone numb? How do you move from just existing to actually feeling again? And we can't flip a switch. It'd be nice if we could. We can't do that. And we can't resurrect ourselves overnight. But we can start to notice the signs inside us that something in us wants to come back. And we start to notice these signs. That's where we start to wake up. So this week, as part of your investigation, I would just ask you to start watching for signals in your life that a part of you is not happy with this existence. Those tiny moments when you sense that something is still moving under the surface. Flashes of irritation, a little curiosity, the ache that doesn't quite fit your day. This week, don't shove those aside, or rush to patch them over, or talk yourself out of them. Just catch them. And when I say catch, I mean just pause long enough to let it land, to notice it, to take it in and let it be. You could even write down what happened, what you felt, what it might be pointing you toward, even if it doesn't make sense yet. And you're not trying to solve everything. You're not trying to turn your life around in one day. You're just saying, oh, I noticed that. Maybe everything isn't fine after all. So that's your investigation for this week. Just notice these little flickers, these little signals, because that's proof that your pulse hasn't gone out completely. So you can get started on checking in to signals that your life may be asking for a change by downloading my free signals journal. The link is below. It walks you through the 7 common signs that your life is asking for a change. It's completely free. You can grab it at the link below. And it's a great way to get started if you want to stop sleepwalking through your life and start paying attention again. And if you've been feeling a little undead lately, don't panic. You're not really gone. Just overdue to come back to life. I hope this was helpful for you. If so, please like and subscribe. Check out the next video I have for you on the end screen, and I'll see you next time.